Hey friends, welcome to episode 22 of Last Ditch Effort. My name is Pacasha and this is my knitting and spinning podcast about using up my stash. Yeah, that's it. Welcome. Glad you're here. I'm glad you chose to spend a few minutes with me today. So let's get right to it. Normally I would start with what I'm wearing, and I will do that today, but that's also going to be a finished objects part. However, I am wearing a pair of socks. A pair of socks. These are I made these years ago, and I wear them all the time, and they're in pretty good condition, but I can't even remotely tell you what kind of yarn this was. I think it was a Filcolana. No. I don't even know. That's how long ago it was, but the pattern is BFF by Cookie A, and it's just a simple cabled sock. I've got slippers on top, so they're not like totally gross. I made my slippers too. These are hand spun. I don't know the pattern, like grandma's slipper or something. I don't know, something like that. Not that important. They're kind of ratty, and the pattern's good, but there's like 500 different versions of it. And we just got a new washing machine today, and apparently it loads a little differently than the other one, because now it's off balance and making a lot of noise. Can you hear that? Sorry about that. Anyway, broke the old washer this weekend. That was fun, so just got a new one today. So I have a lot of laundry to do to catch up, therefore me recording while I'm doing laundry. But it's very loud. Anyway, what I'm wearing, this and a finished object. This is a Hapkerchief, which is just a cowl that's kind of done in a shawlette, a triangular shawlette. I don't know, standard shape, but it's joined in the back. It's by Gudrun Johnston. I've made several of them before. They are kind of a preferred use up my leftovers pattern. It really doesn't take that much. And in my Ravelry notes, I have an exact listing of how much I used of each color. But so last week I talked about finishing this hat, which is Shetland Solstice, probably, yeah, I don't know, by Gudrun Johnston also. And I had so much of this left over that I wanted to do something that kind of matched, but the main color couldn't be this one because I didn't have much of it left. Oh my gosh, the washing machine is going to explode. Jeez. Who knew there would be that much difference between washing machines? Anyway, it's not overloaded. I promise. I did not overload that machine. It's just possessed. Okay, so I have like a set, and then I had still quite a bit of yarn left over, and you know how much I like to use up every little bit of yarn. So I started, let me arrange. Let me take off the hat because it's really hot, but I had to add more colors into the mix because that's kind of what you have to do sometimes. So I added a black from Knit Picks. It's Knit Picks palette in black. And then I added a cream. I think it's just a Knit Picks leftover. I do have a big ball of cream, but this one was, or undyed, I guess. This one was just a little nugget. And then, do you remember a few months ago I made a pair of Jared Flood's autumn mittens, and they were in a nice blue color with some yellow in it? Well, I added that for this watery part. Then I added some Sholmet, which I think it's a natural Shetland wool color. And then there's the cream, and then here's the green and the two purples make up the Aurora Borealis. Now this is pre-blocking, obviously. I like just finished this part, and I haven't done the thumb yet, but this is going to be awesome. So we have nice Aurora Borealis and mountains. And I finished this, well, not finished because I still have the thumb, but I got the mitten of this one done and cast on the second one, and I'm still in the bottom like blue part. And this second one, it has like, well, it will have like a little wolf. Here's his little legs. It'll have like a wolf howling and mountains and aurora borealis at the top too. So it will both fade in. This pattern, I don't know the designer. I just got it from Knit Picks, and for a while, I don't know. We seem to be crediting our designers a lot more, especially the in-house ones like Pearl Soho and things like that. But this one, I got this, there's like a set of like 4 different mittens, and they're called Woodland Winter. And I didn't get the kit, but I did get the patterns, and they were on sale or free. I'm not sure, but it's been sitting in my knitting library for a long time, so I thought that would be kind of cool. And it's still not going to use up all of these little bits, so they may just, I don't know. I have a few other ideas, and we'll just see how that plays out, but I don't know. I like to organically, my preferred knitting is to do something and then kind of like have the leftovers flow into the next one if possible. And I know I've talked about this 100 bajillion times before. Well, probably not, but probably 21 times before. And that may not happen. There may be a bit of a hiccup, and that happens all the time. It's okay, and whatever. I'll get back on track eventually. So anyway, so I finished this, and I finished, well, almost finished one of the mittens. So yeah, I have another finished object that I would like to talk about before we moved on to my next whip, because the mitten is my #1 whip. And I finished, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so happy to have finished this, because I do not want to look at this yarn anymore. I finished this Musselburgh. It has not been blocked, because I just finished it last night. But this is that Rosaria Mondim in the colorway, I don't remember, but I did not enjoy it, and I'll hold it up there. So it's like hot pink, and it's like a really bluey hot pink, and then like almost a warm red, and then this purple and a lot of natural, and I just did not like that combination at all. But it was good, you know, like travel knitting and whatever. And in case you don't know, okay, I'm not going to try to put this back together because it's actually kind of sticky and hard to shape until after you block it. So this took a while for me to get the hat in this shape, but I'm going to show you, because people always see me knitting this and they're like, what are you knitting? And I say a hat, and it looks ridiculous. And it's just, I'm sure if you're a knitter, you've probably made this 100 times over like I have, but you just make like this long cigar. I like to call it a lozenge shape because that really throws people. Anyway, I'm not going to try it. You shove it one end into the other. It's, yeah. You know, if you're a knitter. Yeah. You know how it works, but finished it. I'm so glad. And I am counting, I think I had like 10 grams left, 12 grams of this yarn left, but I am counting it gone and out of the stash because I'm not interested in keeping leftovers of this for anything. Like, this is going to go away as a gift to somebody, so I don't need to keep it to mend anything. I'm just done with it. I'm not even, I may use it to like tie up presents or something. I don't know. Like, it's not, it's a, yeah, it's a non-superwash wool. So it's not going to be good for like tying skeins when I'm dyeing and stuff because it could felt to the yarn. But yeah, it's not going to be a knitting stash object anymore. It's gone. Maybe even just trash it. That's how much I did not like the color. I love the yarn. So the yarn is, as I said before, it's undyed. And I think Retrosaria, I think they use heritage breeds or endangered breeds. So it's got this nice, like, crunchy, but not it's rustic, but in like the soft, nice way. Like this is wool for wool lovers type of yarn, especially for commercial yarn and not like just hand spun off the sheep type yarn. It is a lovely, lovely yarn. I just didn't like the colors. That's it. Like, yeah. That's all that I have there. Okay, I have one more work in progress, and this is my Syyslaulu. I practiced again Syyslaulu by Heidi Alander. I could say it perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but I can't do it. I don't know if I've even, I think, I worked a few rows. So that's where I was last time, I believe. I think I moved it and worked it a few rows, but not much. Anyway, have a long way to go on that still. This yarn is beautiful. It's Voolenvine Gosling, which is a mix of, I believe, superwash merino, baby alpaca, and silk. I believe that's what it is. I don't have the label in the bag anymore because Kristen's labels are kind of big, and they're like sturdy labels, so sometimes the edges of the cardboard like catches on the yarn, and yeah, so I just have those elsewhere and I didn't bring them in here. Anyway, this is the colorway Mooncusser, which she doesn't do a whole lot, but it is kind of a classic colorway and I love it. And I am using, I believe, size 6 needles, and these are, don't know, but they twist, so I love them. Yeah, so the fabric is really nice. It's super drapey. I think this is going to be a really lovely shawl. It's so soft. It's unbelievable, and it's got such nice drape, but still that warmth from the alpaca. So, but also not the prickle that sometimes alpaca has. So it's a good one to have, especially if you're steering away from like cashmere for sustainability reasons. I don't know if superwash is any better, and I don't, yeah, superwash isn't, and sometimes silk is not necessarily better, but we do the best that we can. Well, we should. This is in a bag with moon phases on it from, talked about this before too, Madder Root, Maine. Madder Root, I don't know. Yeah. And then the mittens are just in this rope bowl that I made that I did not sew very well, so now I'm gonna have to, every time I touch it, more stitches pop, so I'm probably gonna have to go back over and re-sew if I can some of these areas. But yeah, that's what all of my color work stuff is in this bowl, basket, what have you. So I had I keep my cowls on my, or near my dresser, kind of folded in a basket, and I don't really understand why the whole basket and knitting thing goes together, because anytime I put something with yarn in a basket, it gets caught in whatever the basket material is. And I just about ruined a cowl a couple of days ago, just gently taking it out of the basket, and it snagged, and I don't know if I'll be able to fix it. So why is everybody talking about baskets all the time? Drives me nuts now. It's been something I've thought about forever. Especially when I see people just throwing things in like cheap baskets that you get at the thrift store. Not saying there's anything wrong with those, but I think maybe with yarn, that's something I think twice about, because all those ends in the basket, I don't know, maybe people have better baskets than me. I don't know. The basket culture is not, okay, I'm going to sound like an idiot. It seems like out east, there is a different basket culture versus the baskets here, which is silly because native baskets are perfection, just maybe not for, or they're just not, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I should use a big native made basket is what I should say, because that is appropriate for everything, because they do a good job. Okay, I don't know what I was trying to say there, but these crappy baskets are pissing me off is what I'm trying to say. And I'd rather have my rope bowl basket with holes in it than these wooden baskets that ruin my knitting. So I don't know if I talked to you guys. Moving on. Oh, God, it's stuck. Hold on. I don't know if I talked to you guys about my spinning last week, but I did finish it. I think I did talk about it. So I haven't cast on the socks that I was planning on making with this yet. And I really need to do that because I would like to clear off the bobbins with the leftover singles. And usually I keep all of my singles. It's just this fiber's so weird. I think I talked about that last time, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But on the subject of spinning, I have been spinning 8 ounces of Polwarth Tussah. Yeah, Polwarth, it's an 8515 Polwarth Tussah silk from Hello Yarn. This is Show Me Your Garden. And I finished 4 ounces, and oh, look at that color. That one is like heaven. Now there's a whole lot of purple in this too. You just can't see it because it's covered up. But 4 ounces of this. I have another 4 ounces that I haven't started yet, but I will start. And then, yeah, I thought I was going to get it done this week, but I think when I figured out I wanted to make those mittens, like all of my craft time went to making those mittens. And yeah, they're going fast, but not enough for me to get some spinning in this week other than finishing this bobbin. So yeah, so working on that, and that will, as I said before, become a traveler's cowl by Andrea Mowry. She has a knit along, and I'll put all the hashtags and stuff below in the notes if you need that information. Let's see. Oh, so I've been meeting up with some friends, and we're talking about crafting and creating like a crafting night, and they expressed wanting to learn to spin. And I got super enthused by it, and I bought us some spindles on Etsy. And this is by, I can't read, I don't have my glasses. I don't know why I keep doing this, like, fiberculture.co, but I got them off of Etsy, so they have like an Etsy store, but I'm sure it's linked from their regular website. And yeah, it just seemed to be like a really cool farm, I don't know, that helps women and is empowering, and they just everything that they said on their Etsy store I just loved. And so I got us some spindles. And so I got just 3 different ones, except these 2 are kind of the same, but not really. And this one's different, but not really. They're all about the same weight. And they're just really simple, basic drop spindles, but I wanted pretty ones for us because we should have pretty things sometimes. And I'm gonna load us up with some easy to spin fiber and get them going on that hopefully soon. And I have a feeling they're both insanely creative people. One is my friend Emily Hobbs, who, oh, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, I should. You know what? She's an amazing musician. She and her husband are in a band called Poets Row, and they also help run Flying J Ranch out here, or in our town, which is a chuck wagon supper with a show and stuff. And they're amazing musicians, and they're amazing people. And maybe I shouldn't mention them in a podcast, but I don't see why not, because yeah, they're fantastic and in the public eye already. But anyway, I'm super excited that she's interested in learning to do this, but she's really creative. I can't wait to see what she does. And then my other friend is my new friend Alicia, who is Edmiston Creations here on YouTube, and she's already like a crazy, amazing knitter, and I know she's gonna pick up spinning like it's nothing. So she's already talking about getting a matchless, which, all right. I mean, if you're gonna get a wheel, get a good wheel. So that's pretty cool. I can't wait to try it or be influenced to buy one myself because I've always wanted a matchless. Anyway, we are gonna spin, and I'm excited to induct my friends into the sisterhood of the spindle. Okay, what else have I got? I've got numbers. Let's do numbers. So with everything I have finished, let's get those glasses out again. Everything I have finished, I'm at 41,609 grams. Grams, not yards or anything. I did use up, well, I'm considering the Mondim sock yarn for that hat used up completely. So I'm at 265 entries in Ravelry. And all of that is the equivalent of 832 50-gram balls of yarn. So if we want a consistent measurement of yarn other than just a huge number, 832. And that's all I have to say about that. So that's, yeah, so I guess I finished 136 grams doing this and the Musselburgh. And just to give you some reference, back in episode 5, I wasn't keeping track of the actual grams yet, but I did go back and I tried to find in my notes, like, kind of where I was at the very beginning of this podcast, which was back in like August or September or whatever. And so in episode 5, I have in my notes that I had 324 Ravelry entries, and then I had like a big purge because there were things I knew that I didn't want to use or wouldn't be able to use, or somebody else would like it more. So I started keeping track a little bit more, you know, as far as grams goes back in November. So I went from 269 back in November and I'm at 265. And that is adding yarn in. That is also getting rid of like the stuff that bled, and the last 10 grams. Like, it's actually like, I don't know. The numbers are moving, but I'm starting to see how just a very like small, relatively small purchase of yarn really, really takes away from my progress. And it's not that I need to get rid of my yarn. I don't have to do this. There's no reason. I'm not freaking out. There's no reason other than I want to be conscious of how much I consume versus how much I create. And I obviously I had rampant consumption, getting all this yarn throughout the years. I mean, some of this stuff is 10 plus years old. And I just want to pay attention because it's so easy to just throw in another skein. Just, oh, let's see what this one's like. I haven't tried that one. And then it becomes something that, to me, I love my stash. I love everything in here, and I can imagine a project with everything in here. However, it's a bit much. Like, I would like everything to fit nicely in here versus being jam-packed, and I would like my needles to fit in here, and anything involving knitting and fiber. Even I would like my fiber, like my spinning fiber, to fit in here. And right now that absolutely does not fit in here. All of my yarn will, but none of my tools or my fiber will. So that's what I would like to do. Just contain things a little bit easier. Also, I've talked about this before, but it's been a while. Something in like kind of, I guess, the minimum, I'm trying to think of what book it was. Goodbye Things, I think, where they talk about everything that you see in your home is like a mental to-do list. So I see this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so much knitting to do. And while that's a silly problem to invent for myself, it does still, like, on some level, it affects me, and it makes me feel like I can't pursue other hobbies. I can't spend my time doing anything else other than knitting this huge mess that I've made for myself. And while that sounds really negative, I really don't mean it in a negative way. I really do enjoy my hobby and whatever. It's just slightly too much for what I want. So I want to get down. I want to find my good equilibrium is what I'm trying to say. And I know I've said all that before, but once again, maybe you're new and you're like, why does this lady care so much about silly things? Because that's what this lady does. All right, so what's on the needles next? I keep talking about wanting to do more leg warmers, and this week was really proof of that because there were, I think, 2 or 3 days after I ran, I put on leg warmers, and yesterday I actually left the house with my leg warmer. Like, I don't leave the house hardly at all, but yesterday I'm like, I have to wear leg warmers because I've started jogging, and I have jogged with them on, and I think I talked about that last week, and it was not great, but it sure is nice afterwards, even before, to have them on before and get your muscles all nicely warmed up, and then afterwards, I don't know, just it seems to help my with my shin pain and stuff. This is all new to me, this jogging business. I got running shoes yesterday, and I tried them out this morning, and I think that they're gonna work really well, but because I have been doing it barefoot or in socks. I am crazy, people. That's all I really have to say. Yeah, I'm making some leg warmers. Hopefully, I need more leg warmers because if I wear a pair every day, and I mean, I don't have to wash them after every time. I'm not gonna wash them after every time, but if I do wear them, I need probably more just to keep that rotation nice and keep them looking fresh and pretty. I need a pair of black socks. I need a pair of navy socks. I'm talking about the navy socks for months now, and I even bought yarn to do that. And I need a pair of red socks. So I might put some more focus on some things that I need. I'm holding off on doing any garments right now. Mainly because it's going to start getting really hot soon. Sorry, I keep hiccuping or whatever. It's going to start getting really hot soon. And I just really don't want anything heavy on my lap while I knit. Although I do start I start a usually pretty big sweater about in August for some reason. So that'll be about the time I start Mark's next huge sweater, my husband. Yeah, but I'm holding off on garments right now because I feel like things are kind of changing for me. I don't know. I don't need anything. There's nothing that I need. So I might just do little silly things like this to give as gifts because I have many people in my life that I love that I don't sometimes know how to show that. So I'll knit for you. That's it. Yeah. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And I'll talk to you probably in a week and maybe have something interesting to talk about. Let me know what you're working on down below. And if you've already mentioned what you're working on down below, let me know the progress. Yeah. Because I don't know about you, but I feel the need I have to finish something every episode, but no. I certainly don't make myself finish things, which is funny being not a monogamous knitter, but only having a couple of things on the needles. If I don't like working on it, that means that I just don't knit. That means I go up a few levels in Candy Crush versus knitting. I don't know if that's a good way to be, but sometimes you just don't feel it. That's okay. Yes, that really means that I don't need to buy more if I'm going that slow. I keep talking. I'm sorry. The washing machine stopped. So, and I don't see any water flooding into the living room, thank goodness, but I better get started on this laundry that's piled up. So I'll talk to you guys later. Love you all. Take care. Be healthy and be happy and all that good stuff. Talk to you later. Bye.